You should sleep over. You know how these hills are during nights, my grandfather urged. Yes, I know, I replied with a laugh. Drekavac is gonna get me and eat my teeth. I got no reply from the grandpa, only a flat stare. We spent a day cutting and preparing firewood for winter at his house, located in a remote village of South Serbia, with gloomy hills all around. Work took us a bit more time than we expected, allowing early autumn evening to creep up on us. I'll be able to catch a bus, don't worry, Gramps, if I head out right now. That is, you are probably right. And nowadays there are streetlights to help you feel safer anyway. Yes, from a Babroga that is going to eat my toes, right? I know you like to make fun of a kid, but you wouldn't laugh if you saw what I saw. What did you see? No time to tell you now anyway. Go ahead, you're gonna miss a bus. I looked over the sun slowly setting behind tired hills. I don't visit him that often, let alone sleep over, so a sense of guilt washed over me as I looked over at him sitting on a little wooden chair he made, drinking a bit of his favorite brandy. I didn't believe his stories, but I figured he could have used some company. He has lived alone ever since my grandmother died a few years back. Maybe this was his way of getting me to stay, so I sighed and said, if I stay over, will you tell me the story? His lips curved into a smile, but his eyes remained dull, as if only a part of him wanted to tell me a story. Sure, let your father know while I pour you some brandy too. You're gonna need it. I quickly called my father while Grandpa got inside the house, bringing out a bottle and something else, a smaller empty bottle, covered in dust, as if it hasn't seen the light of day in a very long time. He poured me a glass too, we cheered, and we crossed ourselves, in Orthodox Christian manner, as it was a custom in this region. What's that about? I asked, nodding towards the dusty bottle. It's a proof of my story. There's a reason I don't go out in these hills during the night, and that I don't want you to go either. Tell me, son, what do you know about the history of this place? Of the village? Not much. Of this whole region I meant, the hills and mountains. I don't know. Well, under Ottoman rule, there were a lot of skirmishes here during the war. Our ancestors and Ottomans fought often, stripping each other of corpses of weapons and anything of value for that matter, as resources were scarce. War was ongoing, so there was no time for funerals. Bodies were being left to rot in the middle of woods, and it is believed their restless spirits still haunt these hills. Chills ran down my spine, even though I did not believe in unnatural things. I read about these events in history, and for most parts they were correct. Slavic forces and Ottomans often had several battles here several hundreds years ago. When I was young, maybe a bit older than you, I was getting back from the town, on foot. I went there to sell a bag of tobacco that I harvested on the market. Your generation is so lucky not to have to do that. He laughed. It is a long walk, and the night caught up with me. I had some luck to have a bit of moonlight here and there, otherwise it would be pitch black. Several kilometers away though, I suddenly started hearing music. Out of nowhere. From what I could gather, it seemed as if I ran into a wedding. A wedding. In the middle of night. In these hills. Yes, exactly. Just as the clouds started covering the moon, I cut the corner, and right there in the field there were 20 to 30 people from what I could gather, as I could only see their silhouettes. I found it weird too. People in the middle of cold night, out in the nowhere. But for some reason at the moment it made sense to me. One of the men started walking towards me, telling me they are celebrating, and offering a drink to me. The last trace of smile left my grandfather's face, and his voice became dead serious. I was hesitant at first, but he insisted. It was a cloudy night, and I had to walk a bit more to my home, so I thought why not? I could use a drink, so I took the bottle he was offering. He turned to me, a grave expression on his face. Tell me now, son, what did we do right before we emptied these glasses? He gestured to two empty glasses in front of us. I stared at them blankly for a few moments before remembering. We crossed ourselves, right, and so did I, back then. See, it is not just a custom. By crossing yourself, before you drink, you are calling the Spirit of God to you, to drive away evil. I know it sounds silly, but we have been doing it for centuries now. Before I drank back then, I instinctively crossed myself. As soon as I did it, it was like I had woken up, like I had been pulled out of the dream, or a nightmare for that matter. Music stopped, people disappeared, and the scariest part is, I was naughty.